Hey my little snaplings, it's me, and I'm back at you with another video. I haven't made a video in, a while, so I don't know why I'm saying it like that. But anyway, I'm here to talk about my tongue piercing with you today. So, I'm just going to get started with the whole experience. I'm going to get into pain, and how it healed, and what it's up to now. In that order. Maybe not in that order, actually, honestly. You'll see it at some point in the video. So, I wanted my tongue pierced because I just thought it was a cool piercing, and I was like, why the heck not? YOLO, you're only young once. You know? I go to my piercer, and she looks, I pay and everything. She looks at my tongue, and then she goes, hang on, I don't think I can pierce your tongue. And I'm like, yo, why? And she was like, come on, today, June. I'm just kidding. But she looks at my tongue, and she goes, I don't really know what that white stringy thing is on the bottom of your tongue. And I will tell you, I was tongue-tied when I was a baby. That's the scar tissue, I guess, that how it healed. That's what that's about, just so you're aware, and it's not just some weird stringy thing on the bottom of my tongue. And second, she puts the clamp on, she's looking around, and she's like, there's a minor vein in your tongue. I don't want to hit that and have you bleed out, so I'm just gonna refund you your money. And I was like, oh, please just do it, I'm down, I'm here, I've paid, I'm ready to go, let's do it. And so she's like, no. I'm gonna refund your money. And I was like, wow, okay, fine. So I ended up going home, and then I messaged her a couple days after, and I was like, hey, what was the reason, Dan, why you couldn't really, pierce me? And she was like, oh, because of the vein, and also there's that white stringy thing. And then I proceeded to tell her, oh, my grandma actually just told me that I was tongue-tied as a baby, and so that's why that's there. She's like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so she's like, okay, well, I'll talk to some of the piercers around here, and I will see if they would, pierce someone with these complications. I was like, okay, sounds good. You do your thing, boo thing. And so she got back to me, and she's like, okay, so talk to some of the piercers, and you can come in, and I'll pierce you. And I was like, run! I get there, and I'm, nervous as heck. Because she tells me, if she pierces the vein in my tongue, if it, doesn't stop bleeding, she personally has to take me to the emergency room, and I would get one stitch on the bottom of my tongue and one stitch on the top of my tongue. And I was like, ooh, that's kind of I'm kind of iffy about that thing. And so I was procrastinating for 45 minutes, after I paid, and they don't refund after you've paid, unless for example, they realize they can't actually pierce your tongue, the first time type thing. I get in there, and I'm sitting in the chair, and I'm super nervous. And then so she puts the clamp on. Honestly, the clamp hurt more than the needle. That's usually how it goes. So she pierced me, and I bled, slightly, not even a lot. I'm a hardcore bleeder when it comes to piercing, so I'm, super surprised that I didn't bleed out more than I did, honestly. And so, she pierced me, and I couldn't talk because my tongue was already fat. Honestly, the pain was probably a 3.5 out of 10. It wasn't even that bad. It just felt a lot of pressure, and the clamp hurt more than the piercing itself. Keep that in mind if you want to get it pierced. However, I do have a pretty high pain tolerance, so you can also be the judge for yourself. So then, yeah, she pierced me, and I went home, and I cleaned it for a month, and it was Gucci, but it was still hurting, and I was like, why, dude? And I finally decided to look at myself in the mirror type thing. This feels it's getting deep. This isn't a deep talk or anything. But I look at myself, and I'm sticking my tongue out, and I'm looking at it, and I see that it's on an angle, straight up angle. And I was like, oh, what's happening there? And so I ended up going back to her. And before I went back to her, I talked to this girl that had a tongue piercing at my work. And I was like, hey, have you ever had any, complications with your tongue and, it hurting, past the first month? And she was like, yeah, it hurt for however long, she said. And I was like, oh, why is that? I didn't tell her anything about mine. And then she goes, because mine was pierced on an angle, and it rubs against a nerve in my tongue. And I was like, huh? Same exact problem. Mine's pierced on an angle, therefore it's rubbing against a nerve in my tongue. And that's why it took so long for it to heal. It took, honestly, 5 to 6 months for it to fully heal, because my friend told me that she put tea tree oil on it for however long it hurt, like once, twice a day type thing, like a dot. And so I started doing that, and it started getting better and better and better. And eventually it just like stopped hurting, and I was like, wow, like woo, woo, let's go for round 2. And so like I went to my piercer, and I was like, also, you pierced me on an angle. I kind of want it straight. And she was like, well, I'm gonna have to like charge you for it again. And I was like, no you ain't, because okay, first of all, that was your fault. And second of all, I don't want to possibly have to go to the ER again. And thirdly, that's a long time for it to be freaking healing. Like, again, like another month. Like, I had a month of hell. I'm not ready to go through that again. She was like, okay, I'll pierce it for free. And I was like, still no. Like, I just want you to know, like, so you don't F up with someone else, that it is effed up with me, okay? And so, like, my tongue piercing was, like, A-okay, and, like, it would have the occasional day that it would hurt for, like, 6-7 hours type thing, and then be, like, Gucci by the end of the night. Then it started hurting my gums. Great, because obviously that always happens with tongue piercings. Like, for a majority of the time, you probably will take it out because it's messing up your teeth or your gums, and in my case, it was my gums. This is what the recession looks like. It looks like this, so it's like, hey, normal, and then here's my tongue piercing. It's like, hey, I'm gonna hit that part, and it's like, boom, and then it goes back to, like, how it was before. And your gums will never heal themselves, so it's not going to grow back. It honestly took forever for me to take my tongue piercing out and actually be okay with it being out, because it was honestly my favorite piercing. But that's basically all that happened with my tongue piercing. I did take it out. It honestly took 2 weeks for me to take it out, from the time I took it out in between, like, me putting it back in, because I still low-key loved it. I mean, like, I still do love it. I love the way that it looks and how, like, cute it is and how it looks in photos. I'm actually okay with it being out because I like when I'm not in pain. I mean, like, when anyone. This was, like, a tongue piercing from hell type thing. Like, it was not, like, it was, If someone ever tells me that they're thinking about getting their tongue pierced, I look at them and I say, please do not get it pierced, because of all the complications I went through, and it will mess up your freaking gums or your teeth, and that is, like, not good. That's a big no-no. Like, you have your freaking teeth forever, unless they fall out or they get smacked out or chipped, or, you know. Anyway, so that was everything about my tongue piercing, and I do have 12 other piercings aside from my tongue, so if you are interested in those, leave a comment below and I will maybe make a video talking about them. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you soon. Peace out.